Hey everybody, we're going to be working on a Dani Mini modification. This is a super quick, super fun little thing we're going to do. It is a two-sided Dani, so let's not waste any time and jump right in. So I'm going to split this into two sides so it's not overwhelming. So on side one you need your main panel, and then you need your two bodice pieces, front and back cut out. And then you need your two skirt pieces cut out. And you want to make sure that you have those lined up really nicely and all ready to rock and roll. So this is the first piece that you need. The second piece you need would be, the other main panel or the back panel. And then you will have cape pieces. You will have a front and a back for each of those. So that will be the second half of this. So we're going to focus on the front. So what I want to do is I'm going to go ahead and line these up so it makes it a little easier to see. Yours will have artwork, so yours will be just a smidge easier than mine, but it'll still be super cute just the same. So what you want to do is where you have artwork, it's probably going to be easiest to match the bodice piece right here up with the artwork that's on your main panel. And I'm going to use just a piece of double-sided tape to help hold this in place. Once it's all lined up, I'm going to give that a good press, and then I'm just going to let that sit there for right now. Then I'm going to do the same thing. There will be some artwork here that's kind of like the tunic part of the outfit. And you're just going to line this up, make the artwork kind of match just the same. I'm going to place a little double-sided tape to help hold it in place. Maybe. There we go. Lining that tunic up really nicely. And then I would just give that a wee bit of a press. And then that's how that would go down. So I would pull these top pieces off. And now we can talk about what this looks like. So on the Dani Mini, I'm going to go ahead and draw in these edge pieces. So we have a rough guesstimate of where that edging is. All right. So this is the Dani Mini. Roughly a 1/4 inch seam allowance all the way around on this. So you definitely want to give yourselves plenty of space when we are sewing this down. So this is roughly that 1/4 inch seam allowance that I'm, taking into account. And then you want to give yourself plenty of flexibility when you top stitch that top on. So here is where I like to do things. Now, you could do just a circle and give yourself all that kind of flexibility in, or if you want to secure this down, you could, be a little bit more, into it. Just say, I'm just going to draw just so you could see. I like to give myself plenty of room, so like you guys could just enough to, I got a little close right there, just to hold it down. And stay out of all of our seam allowances. And I actually don't mind that one, so I'll leave that alone. I'll do the same thing down here. I want to stay out of the seam allowance, but still give me plenty of space up here to do all that top stitching. So what I'll do is I will mimic a little bit of what the skirt looks like. It's kind of like this. Not get too close. I might bring myself down a little bit. Might go back up. And I'll do it again. Just gonna follow the skirt a little bit along the bottom here. And that looks good. So I'm going to top stitch these down. I will back stitch really well. And I will sew this down at the machine. So let's go ahead and head to the machine and do that. Just gonna go ahead. I'm gonna start on the top here. I'm just gonna back stitch really good at the beginning and the end. And then I'm going to repeat for the bottom piece here. Thread. All right. Now I'm going to grab some double-sided tape. I'm going to grab a couple things. So now I'm going to grab my front pieces. I'm going to grab my double-sided tape. And then because my machine is a little bitey, I'm also going to grab some parchment paper. So what I'll do first is I'm going to use that double-sided tape and I'm going to line up my pieces on their counterparts here. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave my threads long. I'm actually going to sew with the front down, and then I'm going to continuously pull the panel back so that I can top stitch all the way around. And like I said, my machine's a little bitey, so I'm going to sew on top of the parchment paper. And I want to make sure I don't shift too much, so I want to keep it lined up fairly well. I will go ahead and throw some clips on there so it doesn't move too much on me. Alright, so I'm going to leave my threads long. I'm just going to start with the skirt first, and I'm just going to top stitch all the way around, taking my time. Now I'm going to do the same thing for the top bodice part here. Once you get to this point, you can, if you use parchment paper, just gently pull it off. You can use tweezers. You don't want to rip it off, because if you rip it off, you can loosen your threads, and you don't want to do that. So this is what the first panel will look like. As you can see, I kept everything out of the main seam allowance. This would be great if you wanted to clean this up and edge coat it to give it a very, professional finish. So this one, it would be ready to move on and, finish up the Dani Mini bowler. So we're going to work on the back half, which is, the tuxedo dude. We got your Sailor Scout and your tuxedo dude. You've got your 4 pieces. Now this is going to be a really unique way of doing this, and I think this is going to be the easiest way to do this so that everything gets sewed down. Just ignore my drawings on the back of this. I was trying to see what would be the easiest for everybody. So what we are going to do is I'm going to use some double-sided tape. Whisk out the string. There we go. And what we're going to go ahead and do is I'm going to line up my pieces together like so. I might even throw a clip or two on here. And I'll repeat for the second piece. Now what we are going to do is we're going to go to the machine and we are going to top stitch starting right here. So it's about 1/2 inch on the long side from the corner. We're going to top stitch from here, go up to the tip. We are going to top stitch all of this side. We're going to come around this curve here, and then we're going to top stitch about 1/2 inch where it's in as well. We're going to do that for both of these. And so let me repeat that one more time. I'm going to start, so like imagine we've got our panel here, okay? I'm going to start at 1/2 inch in. I'm going to go up toward the point. I'm going to go down the longest side, come over through the curve, and then I'm going to stop at 1/2 inch. And I'm going to make sure my threads are long, and I'm going to tie them off at both those points on both pieces. So let's go to the machine and take care of that. All right, so I got my threads long. I'm going to start at 1/2 inch from the side, and I'm going to go all the way around. Bring it out, stretch my threads, and then I'm going to pull my threads to the back and tie them off. All right, and then I would repeat exactly the same thing for the second piece. So those are good. Now what I want is my 1/8 inch double-sided sticky tape. And the reason why is because how we are going to sew this on, they're going to be flyaway. So I don't want people to see any tape from where this is going to be sewn on. So just a little bit of tape. And as you can see, I'm starting and stopping where we did those threads. So I'm going to take the first one off, maybe, if everything cooperates like it's supposed to. Get off! Cute. Now, imagining I don't have the text, but you do, you want to line this up really nicely with that tuxedo. And the idea here is that we are staying completely out of the seam allowance. That's why we had to bring our stitching down. And then we'll do the same exact thing with this side. And look, the exact same thing with this side. I can't remove the flipping backing. Thank you. Now, what's going to happen? I'm going to leave my threads long, and I'm going to set my needle right where I ended here, and I'm going to stitch all the way down and stop where I started this needle here. I'm going to tie them off and I'll repeat for both sides. All right, first one in. So there's that. So these are your two main panels for your Dani Mini. You from here would be able to finish the bag. You would just need to find your centers, attach your linings, and so on and so forth. I will link the video in the comment section below. So I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I can't wait to see all of your modifications out in the wild. So for now, ta-ta, and I'll see you around.